Wow, aren't we lucky to have heard that original recording of a 57-year-old man in 1572 taking a biscuit out of a biscuit tin and eating it. Truly remarkable. Hello there, and welcome back to the final couplet with me, Theo Cowan. Apologies if this recording sounds not quite as good as it usually does, but I'm using some older tech because I'm back home in Bristol, England, to record this. I'm going to be here for a little bit of time, so my next few recordings will all be from Bristol. And look, that's just how it's going to be. I'm sorry if the quality isn't as good, but you're just going to have to bloody deal with it, aren't you? Sorry. Right, I think we should look at some Shakespeare news to start with today, as we haven't looked at that for a while, so maybe something big has happened in the world of Shakespeare that I haven't heard about. So just typed in Shakespeare news into the search engine. What do we got here? We got stuff the stockings with new and improved William Shakespeare Star Wars collection. Okay, so yeah, there's sort of Star Wars characters dressed as different sort of Shakespearean characters, which is a slightly odd vibe. But you know, if you're into that, if you're into Shakespeare and you're into Star Wars, well, hey, it's your lucky day. I feel a Christmas present coming on. You got Yoda in a ruff, and the little caption underneath is Empire Striketh Back. So that's good, honest fun, isn't it? Well done. There. They also should have put, I would say, if I was going to have a word with the people who designed these, probably put a little gold hooped earring on Yoda. That would be a nice bit of fun. Maybe next year they could try that one out. And then there's a little article in Town and Country magazine entitled Where Did Shakespeare Really Live? And it's kind of about the filming of Hamnet, which we've talked about previously on the podcast. And answer is Stratford-upon-Avon. So spoiler alert, it's the location that we all knew that he came from. Cheers, Town and Country. Probably a tough day at the office, scrabbling around for some news, and just had to bosh that one out. Anyway, that's quite enough of that. Let's move on to Sonnet 133, for that is the reason why we are all here today. Sonnet 133. Beshrew that heart that makes my heart to groan for that deep wound it gives my friend and me. Is not enough to torture me alone, but slave to slavery my sweetest friend must be. Me from myself thy cruel eye hath taken, and my next self thou harder hast engrossed. Of him, myself, and thee I am forsaken, a torment thrice, threefold thus to be crossed. Prison my heart in thy steel bosom's ward, but then my friend's heart let my poor heart bail. Whoever keeps me, let my heart be his guard. Thou canst not then use rigour in my jail. And yet thou wilt, for I being pent in thee, perforce am thine, and all that is in me. So there we have it, Sonnet 133, and look, some stuff has happened since Sonnet 132. Clearly, Shakespeare's got this friend, and the bloody friend has fallen in love with the Dark Lady, which is an absolute nightmare for Shakespeare. Look, he's already been so obsessed with her over the last, 10 sonnets now? And we know that he's not happy with the way she's treated him. We don't fully know what she's been doing, but Shakespeare's clearly not happy, but he's bloody in love with her. We know that for sure. And now his mate is also in love with her, and it seems like she has enchanted him in some way, and Shakespeare's fuming about it. He's not fuming because his mate has fallen in love with the Dark Lady. He's fuming that she's, tempted him in some way. And again, I will say Shakespeare is displaying some problematic behaviour in this sonnet. Just give it a bloody rest, will you, mate? He always seems to be blaming this woman for, tempting men in. But maybe, look, I hate to say it, Shakespeare, but you've fallen in love with someone and maybe she's not that into you. What are you going to do about it? And you know what? Your friend's also fallen in love with her. And you know what? She's also probably not that into your mate either. Just get over it. It's your bloody problem. Anyway, that's my rant out of the way. Let's actually look at this and break it down line by line and work out what the hell Shakespeare was going on about in Sonnet 133. So we start with, Beshrew that heart that makes my heart to groan for that deep wound it gives my friend and me. Which is basically saying, curse you. Curses to you for making my heart groan for that deep, deep wound you have given me and my mate. All right? Look, me and my mate are over here and we're actually really upset. Okay? Well, you've actually really annoyed us, is what he's saying there. Is't not enough to torture me alone, but slave to slavery my sweetest friend must be? There's a real fuming tone about this sonnet so far. And here he's saying, isn't it enough to torture me alone without also enslaving my dear friend? Come on! Shakespeare's been talking about how she's been really cold and standoffish to him over the last few sonnets, which he seems annoyed about. And now he's saying, look, you've done that to me, and now you've dragged my bloody friend into it. Not my good friend. Don't do that to him as well. I sort of like to think that in this situation, she's literally just having a chat with both of them. She's just sort of just been quite nice to them, just a normal person. And they're like, God, you're being so rude. You're being so rude, not sleeping with us. How dare you talk to us and not sleep with us? Then we have, me from myself thy cruel eye hath taken, and my next self thou harder hast engrossed. So this is quite a hard one to initially understand, but what he's saying here is, your cruel gaze has stolen me away from myself. I've sort of lost myself. And you've even more cruelly taken possession of my closest friend. So it's similar to the last few lines, really. He's annoyed about her seemingly taking his friend and doing the same to his friend as she did to him. Again, the jury's out on what she did. We don't know. It doesn't sound like she's done that much, to be quite honest, because he's not saying it. Of him, myself, and thee I am forsaken, a torment thrice threefold thus to be crossed. So he's saying, I've been abandoned by him, okay, my mate, myself, been abandoned by myself, and by you. So it's a suffering that has been multiplied 3 times over. He's really playing the victim here, isn't he, Shakespeare? He's having a really hard time and he just wants to write about it. Then he continues with quite a complex thought, I think. Prison my heart in thy steel bosom's ward, but then my friend's heart let my poor heart bail. God, he's gone deep into a sort of prison metaphor here, and he must have confused himself as well. I mean, what the hell are you talking about here? My understanding is he's saying, lock me up, but then let me use my heart to bail out my friend. So look, take me, but don't, for God's sake, don't take my friend, who's already locked up in this metaphor, because he then needs to bail his friend out using his own heart. I don't know. Back to the drawing board with that one, Shakespeare, I think. But don't fear, because he's carrying on with the metaphor. Whoever keeps me, let my heart be his guard. Thou canst not then use rigour in my jail. And again, continuing this long, complex metaphor, whoever you assign to watch me while I'm in this jail, let me be in charge of guarding my friend. But I thought you just bailed your friend out, Shakespeare. What the hell are you talking about? So are you now just guarding your friend outside of jail? But you're in jail? Oh. And then I think the end part of that is then you can't torment me in jail because I'll be with my mate. So he is in jail with you. Oh, what are you talking about? Shakespeare said, look, put me in jail, but let me use my heart to bail out my friend who is already in jail. And then now he's talking about being with his friend, both of them in jail. But I thought you used your heart to bail him out. Oh, I don't know. This has confused me. If you've got a better explanation, please tell me. Please put me out of my misery. Let's just move on to the final couplet and forget that he even talked about this whole jail metaphor thing. And yet thou wilt, for I being pent in thee, perforce am thine, and all that is in me. And here he's saying, and yet you will torment me, because I belong to you. So everything that's in me belongs to you. So I think he is bringing his friend back into this explanation. He's saying, everything that belongs to me, including my friend, now belongs to you. So at the end of the day, she's winning. She is winning, and Shakespeare is upset about it. Right, that was a tough one to break down. I'm sorry if I got a little bit heated, got a bit carried away. But it annoyed me, that metaphor. It annoyed me. And I'd like to sit Shakespeare down 500 years ago and say, William, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Please, please, please explain to me what you're talking about. But alas, alack, I can't. So I've given it my best shot at trying to deconstruct it. Right. I think it's about time we move on to our story. And if you remember last week, Shakespeare was invited by the Dark Lady, almost reluctantly, round to her house for dinner. And she was sort of looking at him quite intensely with her lovely dark eyes that Shakespeare is very seduced by. And he runs home and writes Sonnet 132 to bring to dinner with him. He turns up to dinner. Guess who's there? The Dark Lady and her husband. Husband's a weird little bloke with a goatee. And he seems nice, to be fair. He does seem like a nice guy. A little bit strange and oblivious to everyone loving his wife, but a nice guy all the same. Shakespeare's a bit baffled about how she is with him, or why she's with him, but that's by the by. And they have dinner. Shakespeare says, look, can I read this sonnet? Dark Lady's a bit like, not really up for it, but her husband is like, oh yeah, I love sonnets. Read that to me. And so Shakespeare stands up and reads Sonnet 132, which was all about the Dark Lady's dark, piercing eyes and how they seem to pity him, and he seems kind of into that. He's kind of turned on by it in a way, but he's also saying that he wants her whole body to sort of have compassion for him, not just her eyes. So that's like the overarching theme of Sonnet 132. Let's see how that's received by the Dark Lady and her husband at dinner, and how Sonnet 133 fits into all this. Shakespeare finishes reading Sonnet 132 to the Dark Lady and her husband. Her husband stands up and says, "Oh, bravo, Shakespeare! That was absolutely fantastic! I really, really loved that. I really loved that. And it's so nice to be talking about my wife's eyes like that. I know she has beautiful eyes that sort of bear into your soul. It's nice. It's lovely. Yes. And she does show a sort of pity and compassion. Yes, you're right about all of that. And Shakespeare says, oh, yeah, thanks. And then he turns to the Dark Lady and says, well, what did you think about it? She rolls her eyes and says, yes, it was okay, I guess. Right, I think that's enough for tonight. I'm going to go upstairs with my husband. You can see yourself out, William. William Shakespeare is quite shocked by this response. Usually his sonnets go down much better than this. But he knows not to push the matter. He stands, bows to the Dark Lady and her husband, and leaves. He walks slowly back through the streets, contemplating the evening he's just spent with the Dark Lady. He's so confused. What the hell is going on? This woman doesn't love him like he wants her to. God, it's annoying. But why does she keep inviting him round to her house? What's going on? She has a husband, but she also has a lot of other male friends, and Shakespeare was still in love with her. He decided that the best thing to do was to stop off at the pub on the way back. He opens the door, goes over to the bar, orders a pint of a dark brown ale, turns round and guess who's there? Oh my God, it's his old friend Ben Jonson. Ben, hello, what are you doing here in Stratford? I thought you were still in London. Ben says, Shaky boy, good to see ya. How you doing? Shakespeare says, yeah, I'm okay, just sort of like, muddling through life in Stratford. Here I am. And Ben says, lovely. Well, I'm actually down visiting a lovely lady. And Shakespeare says, oh yeah, that must be nice. And he said, yeah, she is quite the lady, quite the beautiful lady. Shakespeare said, oh, that must be nice for you. Well done. I mean, where is she? And Ben says, well, she's not here at the moment. She's just at her house, I think. But yeah, we spent some time together. She's got these amazing eyes, sort of dark, piercing eyes, almost pitying, I'd say. Shakespeare pauses and thinks for a moment. Sorry, what did you say? Pitying? And Ben says, yeah, sort of pitying. I find it quite sexy, actually. She's nice. She's nice. We haven't actually done anything really, but I think I love her. Yep. I think I love her, and I'm pretty sure she loves me. Hope she loves me. Really, really hope she loves me. And Shakespeare says, "Oh God, I know who she is, Ben." And Ben says, "What do you mean you know who she is?" Yeah, I'm also in love with her. Sorry to say. And Ben says, no, I don't think so. It must be a different person. And Shakespeare says, does she live at 7 Montague Place? Ben says, yes, she does. She does live at 7 Montague Place. Oh, brilliant. Okay, great. So you love her too, do you? Oh, for God's sake. What a joke. And she's got a husband, but I'm pretty sure she loves me. And Shakespeare says, yes, well, I'm pretty sure she loves me, even though she's shown absolutely no signs of loving me at all in any way over the last week or two that I've known her. And Ben says, yes, I have exactly the same feeling. She hasn't given me really any signals apart from pity and sort of sorrow in her eyes. But I'm pretty sure she loves me and she wants to spend the rest of her life with me. Shakespeare says, oh, bloody hell. She's done us both. We both love her. Oh, God. She's manipulating us. I hate women like this. This makes me very angry. Ben says, yep, another love triangle. Me, you, And the Dark Lady, and Shakespeare said, oh, you call her the Dark Lady too? Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I've given her that nickname as well. And Ben says, well, yeah, it seems like a pretty obvious nickname to give her. Nice dark eyes, sort of dark features, dark hair. Beautiful, really. Shakespeare says, agreed. Anyway, this is crazy. This has actually really pissed me off. This has made me very angry. My friend Ben Jonson is being manipulated by this beautiful woman. I thought, I could deal with just me being manipulated. That's fine. But not my friend. Not my good friend Ben Jonson. I don't see that much. And Ben says, honestly, Shakespeare, it's absolutely fine. I can sort of deal with this myself. I don't think I'm getting manipulated. I just happen to love her. And I think she also loves me. And Shakespeare said, no, you're getting manipulated, mate. We both are. This woman is manipulating us. Oh, God. Women, eh? Hey? Women. Always manipulating us men. What a nightmare. And then Shakespeare says, I'm going to confront her about it. I've had enough of this. I've had enough of this. Both of us getting messed around. And Ben says, oh, no, don't say anything to her because I love her. Please don't say anything. And Shakespeare says, sorry, mate, I'm going to say something. I have to say something for you, my friend, and me. Please, Shakespeare, don't say anything. I'm telling you, it's absolutely fine. No, Ben, it's all right. No, you can't stand up for yourself. I'm going to stand up for you. And with that, Shakespeare downs his pint and he starts walking fast towards the Dark Lady's house at 7 Montague Place. On his way, he writes Sonnet 133 in a fit of passion and fury. Eventually, he arrives back at the Dark Lady's house and he starts shouting up at her window on the top floor. Hey! Open up! The window doesn't open. He gets some rocks and starts throwing them at the window. No answer. He gets a slightly bigger rock, throws that at the window, and it smashes the window into tiny pieces. Shakespeare goes, oh God, no, that wasn't what I meant to do that, oh God. Suddenly, the Dark Lady appears at the window, glaring down at him. Shakespeare says, sorry about the window. Sorry, I'm quite angry. I'm a bit passionate at the moment. And she says, bloody hell. What are you doing? I'm trying to get some sleep. What do you want? Why have you broken my window? And Shakespeare says, no, okay, look, just forget the window. I'll pay for that. I'll get Ben Jonson to pay for that or something. But first, I need to read you this sonnet because you have been very mean to me and my friend. And the Dark Lady sighs and says, you and your friend, what are you talking about? And he says, yeah, my friend Ben Jonson. You've been mean to both of us. And I've written a sonnet to explain. She looks down at him and says, oh, not another bloody sonnet, please. Please, don't read me another sonnet. I don't like them. And Shakespeare says, well, you're going to have to listen because I broke your window, so there's no escape. And with that, he pulls Sonnet 133 from his back pocket and shouts it at the Dark Lady. Sonnet 133. Curse you for making my heart groan, for the deep wound you have given me and my mate. Isn't it enough to torture me alone without also enslaving my dear friend? Your cruel gaze has stolen me away from myself, and you've even more cruelly taken possession of my closest friend. So I've been abandoned by him, myself, and by you. A suffering multiplied 3 times over. Lock me up, but then let me use my heart to bail out my friend. Whoever you assign to watch me while I'm in this jail, let me be in charge of guarding my friend. Then you can't torment me in jail because I'll be with my mate. And yet, you will torment me because I belong to you. So everything that's in me belongs to you. So there we have it, Sonnet 133 and a story to go with it. What the hell's going to happen next week? Two angry friends being all angry at this poor woman. You'll have to wait and find out where the story goes and how Sonnet 134 fits into it. Until then,